EU Enlargement Commissioner Johannes Hahn will begin meetings with Albanian and Macedonian officials this Tuesday to discuss the process of opening negotiations, with confirmed meetings with President Meta and Prime Minister Rama. During an inspection of the latest project launched, Mayor Erion Veliaj said that Tirana will continue modernisation at the same pace, despite what he refers to as the inevitable debates which surround new projects. The state police have distributed leaflets to help holidaymakers travelling to Albania. With a presence at all border crossing points, leaflets have been given to tourists in Albanian, English and Italian. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday, the 16th of July 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. The EU enlargement will launch meetings with officials of Albania and Skopje this Tuesday. The agenda includes discussions for the process of opening negotiations. During the Western Balkans summit, Johannes Hahn announced that from July 17th there will be a Balkan tour starting with Skopje and then visiting Tirana. During the visit, he will clarify the steps to be taken during the screening process for Albania and Macedonia, which will serve as preparations to the opening of negotiations in June 2019. In the Albanian capital, EU Commissioner Hahn will meet with President Meta, Prime Minister Rama and other government representatives. In the statement given to the media, there are no predicted meetings with representatives from the opposition, instead offering the suggestion that they may take place if there is additional time. Prior to his visit, Hahn made it very clear that Albania should continue to implement reforms and meet the key priorities in order to get a positive response for negotiations. The Commissioner also reiterated that the EU will not open doors to any country that has problems with their neighbours, as a clear reference to finalising an agreement between Albania and Greece. Ghani Dizdari is the next member of the Constitutional Court who has been dismissed by the Independent Qualification Commission. The decision came after the finding that in the declaration of property by the judge, there were contradictions between the purchase price and the surface. They also found that Dizdari had links to people with a criminal history. Dizdari's lawyer once again stressed that the stated wealth is justified and the person with whom he has a connection is his own nephew. Firstly, the process is not over because we will appeal the Independent Qualification Commission's decision to the Special Commission. Secondly, the IQC expresses and defends its positions of double standards. Notice the decisions and note that the IQC does not act on the basis of what the subject represents, but only on the basis of what may be on a list on the table, said Sokol Hazizai, Ghani Dizdari's lawyer. So far, only 2 members of the Constitutional Court have successfully passed vetting, Chair of the institution, Bashkim Dedja, and member Vitore Tusha. Meanwhile, the opposition accuses the majority of deliberately creating a vacuum in the Constitutional Court in order to prevent any attempt to repeal laws. The new constitutional members will be elected after the creation of the High Judicial Council. In September, the government will review the concession-granting laws, excluding all unsolicited offers, a request that has been repeated by the International Monetary Fund. Chair of the Parliamentary Commission of Economy, Erion Brace, announced the initiative after a debate with the opposition. MP of the Democratic Party, Yorida Tabaku, accused the majority of corruption with regards to public-private partnership projects. Erion Brace said the discussions would start at the next session. According to him, the current law is that which was approved by the Berisha government. Meanwhile, the Director of Public Procurement Commission requested additional staff of 6 employees after more appeals were submitted. In a period of 6 months, this institution registered 444 complaints. Tirana's municipality has started work in 8 different neighbourhoods to create dedicated spaces for the movement of bicycles. During the inspection of the works, the Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, stressed that Tirana will continue at this pace to also modernise the new National Theatre and the Pyramid. The site that opened today is a fantastic one because it brings a revolution in the way of public transport in Tirana. The bus will have a dedicated lane in those parts of the ring where there is usually the heaviest traffic or there are significant numbers of traffic lights. By providing these interventions, we encourage alternative modes of transport, said Erion Veliaj. Mayor Veliaj did not spare his negative assessments for the past administration. We had an alternative that did not touch anything. I am very confident that Tirana will continue with this pace of modernisation. We had a debate about the lake park, but the new playground exists today. We had a debate about the new bazaar, yet it also exists today. We had a debate on Skanderberg Square. Today it is an award-winning realisation. We had a debate about the new boulevard, and now it is open for Tirana and will remain so for the next 50 years. Just as we realised all these projects, we will have a new theatre and we will have a new pyramid, declared Arion Veliaj. According to Veliaj, new projects always create debates. I know that we will always have debates surrounding and upgrading Tirana, said Arion Veliaj. The investment envisions intervention in some segments of the ring to improve the circulation of vehicles at some intersections, as well as providing a dedicated bicycle lane along the Jeanne d'Arc Boulevard and Gerard Fichter Boulevard. In addition to these actions, some dilapidated segments of the ring will also be asphalted. Comedy is in mourning after losing one of their best. Fadil Hassa passed away at 78 years of age after a battle with serious lung disease. The actor closed his eyes for the last time whilst in his apartment, but leaving behind 2 daughters and a sense of grief among friends, colleagues and all those who laughed at his jokes. Muharrem Hoja, a colleague and friend in life, expected to meet him for their usual coffee this Monday at 11 a.m, but between tears, he admitted that receiving the phone call announcing that Fadil had passed away has really shaken him. Fadil Hassa first appeared with the amateur Estrada of Durrës in 1970, was a part of the professional body with which he performed tens of dozens of plays and gave birth to hundreds of roles that will always be remembered. An homage for Fadil Hassa will be held on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the lobby of Alexander Moisiu Theatre in Durrës, where the characters he played have become a part of comedic history, and not only for the coastal city. Fadil Hassa was born in 1940 and held the title Merited Artist. He was also awarded 4 times the title of Best Artist and other important prizes by putting his name on the pantheon of the Albanian Estrada. Under the framework of the Rural Revival Project 100 Villages, a memorandum between the government and universities was signed. 100 Villages Academy, as the Prime Minister Edi Rama called it, will highlight tourist and economic potentials of villages across Albania. We will turn these 100 villages into real tourist destinations to spark economic and social development where, until today, it has seemed impossible. We will highlight the great potentials of a different approach for tomorrow everywhere where the opportunities to develop farming or intensive livestock are objectively limited, said Edi Rama. Rama invited migrants to return and invest in their country, ensuring that they will have a greater earning potential than in their current job. I am convinced that this program offers a significant turnaround in the relationship between Albanian migrants who have fled from the village. Those who now work in Greece, Italy or elsewhere can return to their village, not out of nostalgia, not out of obligation to bring money to their parents or relatives, but as an opportunity for long-term profitable investment. Everyone who invests will earn profits in a year, and every year be able to earn more and more, reaching beyond the potential of the job they have emigrated for, whatever it may be, said Edi Rama. Regarding urban revival, the head of the government said it has given concrete results in both economic growth and tourism. Following the councils of Albanians leaving for summer holidays, the state police have distributed leaflets to help those holiday makers coming to Albania. In a media statement, it was announced that at all border crossing points, leaflets were given to tourists in Albanian, English and Italian. Meanwhile, the border police in Morin and Kosovo are cooperating and coordinating actions to mitigate and eliminate long queues and delays for holiday makers. We are at the peak of the summer flux at the Morin border crossing point, where there is an extraordinary influx. Over the last 24 hours, around 12,000 citizens have entered. The majority of these citizens are Kosovars who are travelling towards the Albanian coast. From the side of the state police, in cooperation with the Kosovo police, significant measures have been taken in terms of entry and exit procedures, mainly increasing the number of personnel. Additional counters have been opened and expedited procedures used to help reduce long queues. The State Police have produced a brochure especially for Kosovar vacationers in which there is detailed information and phone numbers. For any kind of problematic situation, Kosovar vacationers are encouraged to contact the State Police with the necessary information and phone numbers found in it, said Ermal Haji. The State Police are in attendance at all the border crossing points, ports and airports, as well as at businesses and beaches, distributing 5 types of leaflets depending on the type of holidaymaker. A few days ago, vacationers were advised to avoid publishing photos of expensive purchases and also to withhold the exact location at which they are enjoying their vacation. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.